What's going on? Vincent Rappisardi, Big Blue Unbiased.com. Thank you to those who've liked, commented, and subscribed. I appreciate you guys. So in this video, we're going to talk about Aaron Rodgers and the New York Giants. I know that seems a little bit weird, but Dave Gettleman talked about it not once, but twice. So we'll just kind of talk about that, the Giants quarterback situation in general this season and moving forward. The draft made things kind of interesting for next year when it comes to the Giants quarterback situation if Daniel Jones doesn't work out. So we'll get into that. We'll also talk about Azeez Ojulari. Why did he slide? Well, because of an injury. So we'll kind of give you an update on what the Giants think about his injury status. He's not technically injured. He seems fine, but that's kind of why he slid. We'll get into that. We'll talk about Azeez Ojulari in this video. But before we start talking about some Giants news, Manscaped.com. That is our sponsor. 20% off plus free shipping. You get free shipping and you get 20% off on any product on their website as long as you use the promo code BBU. You got to use the promo code. And we've already had people who follow our channel who have went out and they've gotten some of their Manscaped stuff using our promo code. So we appreciate our great subscribers and followers of this channel who have went out and have done that. If you want to support us, supporting our sponsors, that's as good of a way as you can go in supporting our channel is by supporting our sponsors. Remember, BBU is the promo code, 20% off plus free shipping, manscaped.com. And I'll tell you what, these razors, these are face razors, all right? I know that a lot of people think Manscaped is just about, shaving your balls, but the face razors are really good too. My dad called me, and I'm not trying to be hyperbolic here, but my dad called me. He's like, wow, that was a really good that's a really good razor. He really enjoyed this face razor. So I think you guys would enjoy it too. Promo code BBU, 20% off plus free shipping. Okay, so let's talk about some Giants news. So Aaron Rodgers, I know, it's kind of a stupid topic to talk about, but we're here on May the 4th. There's really not much to talk about, but we will discuss this because Dave Gettleman talked about it twice. And originally he had stated that it was none of his business, that he wasn't really interested in Aaron Rodgers because there are trade rumors. Aaron Rodgers wants out. I think it's kind of a negotiating tactic. He's going to try and push the Packers and say, yeah, I don't want to be here, or I want to leave, or I want to get traded, and then hopefully the Packers kind of up the money in his potential deal and a negotiation. But then he came back, Gettleman, and he said, you explore everything. So that's kind of like the typical GM answer that you would think. You should explore everything, no matter what position you're currently in. You should always explore potential trades, potential players to sign, potential draft picks, whoever it is, no matter where you are in the draft, no matter who you have at quarterback or any other position. You should always do your homework. And you have to look at the Giants' current situation. They're obviously not 100% sold on Daniel Jones. They'll say it publicly because that's their guy at the moment. They don't want to ruin his confidence or whatever it might be. But they shouldn't be 100% sold on Daniel Jones. At this point, they shouldn't be 100% in for the future. He has to prove himself. I think there are a lot of people that do still like Daniel Jones, and I understand that there's potential there with Daniel Jones. I think he could be the Giants franchise quarterback, but it's best to always keep your options open. And this is obviously a make or break season for Daniel Jones. He has to perform this year 3. And they're doing whatever they can to support him. They went out and they got Kenny Galladay. They went out and they got Kadarius Toney in the first round. They signed Kyle Rudolph. So they've added some legitimate playmakers to the Giants offense that had Darius Slayton and Sterling Shepard, and now Barkley is coming back healthy. They're giving him all the pieces possible. They used the 4th overall pick last year on an offensive tackle on Andrew Thomas, a 3rd-round pick on Matt Parrott, a 5th-round pick on Shane Lemieux. They spent obviously a ton of draft picks last year on their offensive line alone. It's make or break. So these comments about Aaron Rodgers, now I don't think Dave Gettleman will be with the Giants next season if Daniel Jones doesn't work out, because the thing is, most likely if Daniel Jones doesn't work out, the Giants are probably not going to be that good. I think that's a good assumption to make. If he doesn't play well, they're probably still going to be a 6 or 7 win team. They're probably going to miss the postseason. At that point, I don't think Gettleman keeps his job. He probably shouldn't at that point. If they're not winning football games and year 4 of his tenure as GM, it's probably time to find a new GM. So I don't really think it's too much. I don't really think these comments mean too much at this point, because I don't think that they'll trade for Rodgers this season. I think most of you would probably agree with that. And I know Rodgers is getting up there in age, but obviously still very good. But you have to look at Joe Judge, and there's kind of more news in regard to his impact on the draft, his say. It's not just Gettleman, but Joe Judge is kind of having a say. And you look at these draft trades. So they obviously got a first-round pick in return, moving back from 11 to 20 with Chicago. They got a first-round pick next season. They got a third-round pick next season, moving back in the trade with Miami in the second round. They also get a fourth-round pick next year with that trade with Chicago. So they get the first round and fourth round for next year from Chicago, and then a third-round pick from Miami when they moved back in the second round in this year's draft. So they've added legitimate draft capital next offseason, and that gives Joe Judge the opportunity, if Dave Gettleman is not there, if Daniel Jones doesn't work out, because Daniel Jones wasn't a Joe Judge draft pick. Judge was obviously still with the Patriots at that time. It gives Judge the opportunity to go out and either trade for his quarterback or trade up for his quarterback in the draft and take one. I know you're probably thinking, well, next year Rodgers is going to be even older. Why would you do that? But the Giants are going to have a win-now roster by next season. They're going to have a roster that is ready to win. It almost kind of reminds me of like when the Broncos signed Peyton Manning. That was a roster that was pretty good. They needed a quarterback. They were ready to go. They had good receivers. They had a nice defense. They needed a quarterback. And I think that's what the Giants are going to be next year without question. They're going to, when I mean next year, 2022, they're going to be in a position where, look, if Aaron Rodgers can play 2 more years and still be productive with that roster, the Giants are going to have a chance to win a Super Bowl. I know we're going far in the future here, but the Giants should keep their options open, because even if it is only a year or two of Aaron Rodgers, if he's still playing at a high level and you can win a Super Bowl, you should go for that. If you have a window with a strong roster, and it's tough these days, it's tough to keep players for the long term. It's kind of rare to see players play 5+ years with a team. A lot of roster turnover in the NFL. A lot of guys don't even make it to the end of their contract when they sign as free agents. They get released for salary cap reasons or whatnot. I'd have to look at the math on that, but it seems like it. It seems like a lot of players, they don't play as long with certain teams as they used to in the past. A lot of guys get cut early to save cap space and whatnot. So if you have a window, okay, if your team is ready to win, go out and make sure you get your quarterback if you can, if he's available, whatever position it is. If you have a strong roster and you're that quarterback short, even if it's an older quarterback, if they're still productive, go out and get him. So it keeps the door open, even if Gettleman's not there, for who knows? Maybe Aaron Rodgers could be a target for the Giants next year if Daniel Jones doesn't work out. We'll take it year by year, though. Daniel Jones is currently the Giants quarterback, and he will be their quarterback for this upcoming season. But I did want to talk about that quickly, because the trades that they made in the draft, they're putting themselves in a position to make a big trade next year to move up, or maybe trade for a player like Rodgers to go ahead and go 110% at trying to win a championship. So that's that. And then we'll quickly talk about Azeez Ojulari. At the Combine, there were some red flags when it came to his knee, some medical concerns, and that's why he slid in the draft. Top 20, top 25 pick. That's where people were projecting him. And whatever that means. I mean, just because you project someone, that doesn't mean that they're that good, whatever. The point is, he was supposed to be a first-round caliber player, and a lot of people consider him the steal of the second round based on just overall value, where he was picked at 50. But the Giants have checked him out. They said that they're fine with him. They said that they looked him over, their medical team looked him over, and he looks just about ready to go. He looks good to go. There seems to be no real issues. So they're comfortable there. They had a legitimate pass rushing force to go along with Zimenez, with Carter, Adenabo. They're going to scheme together a pass rush, and they're just going to give as many pieces as possible to Patrick Graham and to Joe Judge. That's what they're going to do. They're just going to give as many pieces as possible, and they're going to scheme together things. It's just going to be a rotation. It's going to be a lot of players that can do different things, just like they did last season, but now they're going to have more depth. I expect them to be, I think we all do, expect them to be an even better defense. You look at last year, they were 14th against the pass in terms of expected points added. Expect that to be better this year with Adoree Jackson. You had Aaron Robinson, a third-round pick, to their secondary. So they're adding reinforcements. They're getting better. There's more depth on their team. There's more options, especially on their defense. There's more options at wide receiver, at tight end. This is the year that you definitely expect them to take the next step and be a playoff team.